always on your side. This is First Coast News at 11.
While you were watching the Olympics tonight, while you were celebrating Valentine's Day with the one you love, a parent was mourning the loss of their child.
17 people died today because they showed up to school. We want to pause for a moment of silence to remember those victims.
So let's talk a little bit about what happened today. This is what we know about the shooter. He's 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz, a former student who was expelled last year for bad behavior. His social media accounts are filled with pictures of him with guns and knives.
And police say he was armed with an AR-15 rifle when he went on the rampage today in Parkland, Florida, a city ironically voted safest in the state last year. We have team coverage of this horrific tragedy tonight. We start with Wendy Woolfolk at the school with how this all unfolded. Wendy?
Oh my God! I just heard like 3 or 4 shots, pops, and then the alarms rang and everyone started running.
I thought it was a drill.
But this was no drill. The unimaginable right before their teenage eyes during the school day.
There was another body in front of me. There was 3 on the bathroom door and another one.
Within minutes, law enforcement swarmed the huge South Florida high school campus to find the shooter. The suspect, 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz, a former student who had been expelled for disciplinary reasons.
He's just always been a really crazy kid. And I heard some people say that one day he would have done this, and unfortunately I think that was today. How long?
Armed with a semi-automatic rifle and countless magazines, investigators believe Cruz wore a gas mask and used smoke grenades to draw students out of their classrooms.
I'm absolutely sick to my stomach to see children who go to school armed with backpacks and pencils lose their lives.
But they still have to figure out why.
That should not happen in Parkland. It shouldn't happen anywhere in this country.
A tragedy that's become all too common here. Wendy Woolfolk, NBC News.
Our team coverage continues now from Parkland. First Coast News reporter Bethany Anderson is live at the Marriott where parents were told to pick up their kids. So Bethany, I know you've been there for a while now. Kind of tell us about the mood.
The mood is just created calm chaos, if you will. Parents are still trying to find their kids. The shooting happened at 2:30 today. They've gone inside the Marriott behind me here. And because some kids left to find their other friends, it's just been chaotic for parents. But on top of that, when people do come out of the building and they see media in the parking lot, they're so distraught, they're so upset. They don't want to look at us. They just want to walk away. But the more unfortunate part for us about being out here is when we actually do talk to students who were at school today. And that's exactly what happened just a few minutes ago. We talked to some boys who were looking for their best friend, and his name is Peter. And he's 15 years old. And this morning, he was in his NJROTC uniform near the freshman building, and that's where the shooting broke out. And they tell me they haven't heard from him since the shooting happened. They tell me how terrifying the whole ordeal went down. Take a listen.
Me and my friend, we heard like 4 bullets, and we were wondering if they were bullets. And then we just, I don't know, like in a 2-minute like time period, we heard 4 more. And then we went, then a teacher just started running out of nowhere, which kind of like sparked everybody else. No, everybody was running, jumping fences. The teachers were like, don't jump the fence, stay in the crowd. But like the crowd is like why? So
Everyone was panicked.
yeah. So I found a family friend and we just took off.
And that brave freshman, his first year in high school, it was a terrifying experience for him. You hear him, he just had to keep running. They didn't know what to do. They saw teachers running and they were panicked even more. And you know, I just remember being a small little anchor in Dothan, Alabama when Sandy Hook happened. And I thought then, this can't be happening. And whenever Columbine as a teenager happened, I thought this can't be happening. And here we stand in Coral Springs, and I still think this can't be happening. But tomorrow morning, a lot of parents won't be reunited with their children. A lot of teachers won't go back to the classrooms that they once served. And that's really hard to take in. And of course, we're going to stay out here throughout the night. We're going to continue our coverage into the morning on Good Morning Jacksonville and throughout the day tomorrow. So stay tuned with us for updates. Reporting live in Coral Springs, Bethany Anderson, First Coast News, on your side.
And so many parents tonight hugging their children, their sons and their daughters extra tight tonight. You know, students there today took to social media inside the school as those shots rang out all around them. First Coast News reporter Eric Alvarez tracks how social media gave the world just a frightening look inside this deadly mass shooting.
Yeah, that's right. Right now, people around the world are posting thoughts and prayers for the students who died and also for those who watched and heard the frightening screams and gunshots.
Oh my God.
Students terrified as shots ring out, but from the chaos, quiet. In the haunting still photos taken from under desks, showing teens messaging friends and family or telling followers they're safe. Outside, the snaps come fast and furious, showing choppers and tears, but also
this is the site that you got caught.
Videos that appear to show officers arresting someone a few blocks from the school. Police arrested 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz, a former student expelled for disciplinary reasons. The sheriff says investigators are checking into his social media. An Instagram account with the same name shows a person in a mask in the profile picture. A small number of posts including guns, ammo, and a dead frog with the hashtag #KillingToads. By 6 p.m., the account was deactivated. Later in the night, even more social media posts, some reflective, some hopeful, like this one where a child is reunited with a loved one after a terrifying experience. Tonight, students are also going to Twitter asking for help finding their friends just to find out if they are okay tonight. And Douglas football players are asking for prayers for this man, Coach Feis, who they say was shot and killed protecting students from gunfire. Eric Alvarez, First Coast News, on your side.
Eric, thank you. This shooting marks the 3rd deadliest school shooting in modern U.S. history behind Virginia Tech and Sandy Hook Elementary.
That's right, Anthony. And it was that mass shooting at Sandy Hook that sparked the creation of a program called Stop the Bleed. In the next 3 minutes, what we're going to show you could save your life.
A shooting, a lawnmower accident, a car crash. When emergencies happen and you have a life-threatening bleed, what happens in the first 3 minutes can mean the difference between life and death.
First, you need to make sure you're safe yourself. So if you're on 95, being in the lane of traffic is not the safest place. Whether you're an active shooter situation or maybe an industrial accident, you need to be safe first, because the last thing we need is more victims.
Dr. Brian Yorgaitis, a trauma surgeon at UF Health in Jacksonville, travels the country teaching what everyone should know to stop the bleed after an injury. We invited him, flight paramedic J.D. Montgomery, and the Trauma One team to First Coast News to teach us the ABCs of bleeding.
A is alert 911. You have to call for help. In some of these chaotic situations, help may not be called because everyone thinks you're doing it or someone else is doing it. So we ask that you assign someone specifically or yourself. B, bleeding. Find the bleeding. Are they bleeding from the leg, arm? You might have to take their clothes off to see the sign of bleeding and see compress.
You can bleed to death in just 3 to 6 minutes, so every second counts. If you have a tourniquet and have been trained to use it, apply it as quickly as possible above the joint, and don't loosen it, even if the patient complains it's too tight.
Tighten, twist, and then lock it in place. And that's all you gotta do. I just saved my own life in seconds.
Dr. Yorkaitis cautions against using an improvised tourniquet like your belt or a string.
We really need a commercially made tourniquet.
Good job.
That really provides that good pressure and an equal distribution to stop bleeding. It hurts to have a tourniquet applied, but it saves life. If you use a small string, you're not gonna just distribute that force, and you're not gonna help the patient.
If you don't have a tourniquet and someone has a large wound that's bleeding, what you wanna do is grab some gauze like this. If you don't have gauze nearby, you can always use a towel, a t-shirt, even your own socks. Then you're gonna wanna pack the wound as deep as you can go. So just continue to put the gauze or the towel in as far as it will go. And then you're gonna wanna apply direct, continuous pressure until help arrives.
We know the Pulse nightclub shooting, lives were saved by direct pressure. There were no tourniquets inside that building, but there were people that were willing to apply direct pressure. As a result, they saved lives.
The most common mistake made, he says, is lifting up the gauze or towel to see if the bleeding has stopped.
All that's going to do is allow the patient to bleed more, and it's going to disrupt any type of clot that has formed at the site of bleeding.
Whether treating yourself or someone else, these steps are proven to help save lives when the clock is ticking.
It doesn't take long for you to lose enough blood for it to be fatal. So the more people that are able to jump in and know what to do, the better chances you'll have at surviving.
Now, last year, Trauma One trained more than 1,000 people here in the Jacksonville area. The training is completely free, and we have a link to bleedingcontrol.org on our website where you can find a local class and sign up. And tomorrow night, I hope you'll join us for First Coast News at 11. We have a special on church security. You're going to see what churches right here on the First Coast are doing to prepare in the event there was an active shooter at their church.
I want you to think about this for a moment. We're barely 2 months into 2018, and already there have been 18 school shootings in the U.S. and since 2013. There have been nearly 300 school shootings in the United States. That's an average of about 1 a week.
Well, a Jacksonville woman makes a shocking discovery in her shower. The device she found, the man who's behind bars tonight.
Plus a soap opera at City Council, the new drama involving the mayor's right-hand man. We're back in just a few minutes.
Tonight, Donald Smith sits behind bars. He is one step closer to learning if he will get the death penalty or be sentenced to life in prison. It took the jury today less than 15 minutes to find him guilty of kidnapping, raping, and murdering 8-year-old Cherish Periwinkle back in 2013. His attorneys decided not to call a single witness or cross-examine Cherish's mother or even do a closing argument. The penalty phase is scheduled to start on Tuesday.
Privacy violated. A Jacksonville man is in jail tonight after a young woman found a tiny camera inside her shower. First Coast News reporter Hani Rodriguez is live tonight with where that camera was hidden. Hani.
That's right, Anthony. She found it in something that I have at home. You probably do too and use every day, a loofah. Well, a Jacksonville man